Good morning, everybody. It is 5 o'clock in the morning and we're back. This time we were heading to Lisbon in Portugal for 3 nights. So come along with us and you'll see some of Portugal.
So enjoy Caroline's video of Portugal. You ready, Caroline?
Yeah.
Here we go. Right, we're on the plane. Bad news is we got no breakfast because we left the departure time very tight on time, and we didn't get here till about 6 o'clock, and we have to aboard our plane for 6:27.
Yeah.
So very tight for time. Caroline got no cigarettes and we got no breakfast, so we're gonna have
Starbucks.
yeah, she got Starbucks. So in this video, this is Caroline's video, and we're heading to Lisbon in Portugal for Caroline's birthday and Christmas, Valentine's Day, and a break because baby Philip is going for an operation very soon, and Caroline needs a little break for 3 days before baby Philip gets the procedure done. Yeah, so we're on the plane. We're on Aer Lingus, plenty of leg room. Yeah, Caroline. And hope you enjoyed the video. And as you can see, we're outside, ready to go. And you'll see us when we get to the airport in Lisbon. Bye. Here we go. Hotel room. There's Caroline. A wee story to tell you, but before we do that, we'll just give a quick guided tour of the room. in here, and the bathroom here. Oh, it's grand. We're only here for 3 days and 3 nights. And you come in here, and the double room is here. And you're practically in the centre of the city here. You've all the little narrow streets and all that up there. We're going to experience all that place there later on. So we're just going to jump to it. So Caroline, explain to the folks about when you get off the airplane in Lisbon, what do you do and what do you not do?
You don't trust anybody that walks over to you asking you to take a taxi like we did.
Yeah.
Because they tried to charge us €142.
So, so they tried to charge us €142 to get a taxi that's only about 15 minutes from the airport to this hotel. So, when you're coming off the plane, look at this picture here. Only look for the taxis with the green roof in it and go by them. Don't go by anyone else. If they come over to you need a taxi, they try to charge us €146 for about a 15-minute trip to the hotel. And the hotel manager says it should have cost us only €20. We refused to pay them the €146 and we just handed them €70 and we told them to bugger off. Now, Caroline?
And they still robbed us.
And they still robbed us. They still robbed us. So, we're going to keep adding this as we go along. So, we'll see you in the next one. So, we're just going to get our bearings first and see what we're going to do. Right. Bye. Right, so we're back in the room. Fucked. Really, really tired. Wrecked. And it took us a while to figure out the place in Lisbon. And yeah, we're a bit disgusted still. Caroline is on the bed. She has her babies. We're chilled out. We found a Farden station here, and it's in English, but there's Farden language underneath it. I have the heater on underneath us. It is 4:30 in the evening, and we're bollocked, and we haven't got the strength to go up and down.
We are up since 2:30.
We are up since 2:30 this morning, so we're
up since 2:30. You're up since 2:30.
Yeah. Yeah, but I work from 12:30 in the morning till thing. So the first break I got in a long time, Caroline.
Yeah.
So we're back in the room. We found McDonald's. Food is fantastic. It's only about 3 or 4 minutes up from the road. 3 or 4 minutes up from the road from the hotel. And we scuttered up and down. There's loads of little shops so you can buy your own little ornaments and bits and pieces. We found that. We found a t-shirt shop for Leah to buy Leah a jersey. We found other little knick-knack shops. We're going to a place tomorrow called Pink Street. We're going to record that tomorrow in day 2. We're also going to go to the Hard Rock Cafe. We found that. And we're going to go. Actually, the food is not that dear either. It's okay. It's about €20 per person. So we're going to go record that for you tomorrow. And I think we're either going to go to an aquarium or some place like that in the. But that's the taxi man. Now, update on the taxi situation. Now, if you're watching the beginning of the video, when you're coming off the plane heading into Lisbon and you're looking to get a taxi, there's people out there and they're called scammers, and they're scamming everybody left, right, and centre. So if you come into airport and you often see people there with their names, which just say Howard, and he's holding the plaque up Howard. The foreigners will come in, and the Portuguese. Nothing against the Portuguese, but this is what they're happening. It's a new thing they're doing. They'll go in and write down Howard on a piece of cardboard, and they'll walk in, and as soon as you come off your plane and you see Howard, you're going to go straight over, and they go, yes, Howard, 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 and they take you to your destination, and they charge you a leg and an arm. And the hotel manager says here today that they already hit another couple coming in here last week, but they charged them €300 from the airport to here.
Yeah, and the people paid it.
And the people paid it. Now, we refused to pay it, and I'll call my boss, and blah, blah, blah. And they said, we just threw him €70, and that was it. And the manager says...
KT Travel hadn't have told me that your taxi...
Just turn on the light there, I can see it. Right, that's better.
You see, Blake?
Yeah.
If KT Travel hadn't have told me that it should be only €15 to €20 for your taxi from the airport to your hotel,
Yeah.
I wouldn't know no different, and I probably would have paid the 140 odd euro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you wouldn't have known no different. For your travel agent warned you. And I was actually warned from Bruna in the beauty salon I go to in Dundalk. She warned me, be careful because they will put on their meat and they'll take you up back rows and by rows and everything.
So there's a big scam thing going on here in Lisbon. Taxis are taking the money off the foreigners, and like us coming in from a different country, and we're classed as foreigners, and they're up in their money and everything, trying to screw everyone left, right, and centre. But we're one step ahead of them. But what happened with the other couple here, remember, Caroline? That they said, I'll ring my boss, and next thing 4 other taxis came around the car and forced the couple to pay the money, so they had no other choice to pay the money. So they knew they weren't going to get away from us. But that was a big downfall when we came here. We were kind of pissed off with it. But when we walked up and down the street, it kind of lightens back up again, didn't it?
We
found a few knick-knack shops and things like that. You know what I mean? We're only here for 3 days, but it's not nice to be for people who are doing that to the people. It should be reported. So if you're coming to Lisbon, do not go to private taxis. Only go to the taxis with the green roof in it. So that's it.
We also found.
Oh, we found Starbucks.
By the way, my name is Carolina.
So Carolina is how they call Caroline over here. But it's okay, isn't it, so far?
Yeah, we're only here.
We're only here a couple of hours. So with the heating on now, we're going to knock off the heating actually because we learn as we go along. So that's it. That's our update for now. And we're not going to record anything else today. We're just going to let the phone charge. And that's it. Anything else to say, Caroline? No. This little trip, if you're watching it, we have no time to do any ghost adventures. We have no time to do anything because I'm out working, and I started this job over 2 years ago now, and I bring medication to all the pharmacies and hospitals, and I get up at 12 o'clock, half 12. I'm on the road from 12:30 in the morning, and I finish at 11:30, and then I go back to bed and I go home and I sleep for 3 hours. And Caroline has the hardest job. Mine and baby Philip at home. And baby Philip is autistic. He can't speak. He needs 24-hour care. And baby Philip is going for a procedure in his heart in April, where he's left a vein going into the heart. There's one going to the left, two going to the left, and two going to the right. Valve. And the valve in the heart is too big. It's pumping too much blood into the heart, and he needs a procedure done like a balloon to reduce the blood flow going into the heart, and that's going to take place in April sometime. We don't know when, sometime in April, and it's going to be in Crumlin, and that's why we done this wee break today, because Caroline's home 24/7 with baby Philip, and believe me, it is hard work. And I told Caroline I have no problem dropping tools and helping her at home anytime. I don't mind, but the money is handy, isn't it? We need the money for working, so that's why we're out working. And so until the day Caroline tells me she needs me home, that's when I'll go home and help Caroline. So yeah, we're still here. We've no time for any ghost stories unless we find an abandoned house here in Portugal, but it's just impossible, isn't it, Caroline?
Yeah.
Very hard to do it. So this little trip is for Caroline.
I actually thought when we got into that man's car today we would be hijacked.
No, it felt like that. Actually, it did.
It was so long.
Yeah, it felt like that because he was talking about come on.
Talking forward to other men on the phone.
Yeah, this film here is called, what you call that out there, Caroline, on that telly?
Neil. Your man Gleeson.
Gleeson, right, is it? That lad, see him there, Gleeson. This country, Portugal, feels like that film.
You know that film
Taken. It just feels like that, yeah? Isn't it, Caroline? It just feels... Neil Neeson. Liam Neeson. Yeah. It feels like that.
Remember the film Taken?
Yeah. It feels like that here in Portugal.
Yeah.
It does. It really does. And I'm not caught in joking now.
In that film, his daughter went to a foreign place like this.
Yeah, it just feels like that.
And she was kidnapped.
She was put into a, yeah. Like we were only off the plane 2 minutes, and we're banged into the back of that fucking taxi.
Yeah.
Weren't we? Yeah, so...
He even followed us to have a cigarette. I told him I went to have a cigarette.
Yeah, Carly went for a cigarette and we tried to push him off. No, he kept following us around. Yeah.
Followed.
So anyway, that's it. That's the update. And you'll see us tomorrow morning when we're having our breakfast. And then we'll take you to Pink Street and we'll take you to the Hard Cafe Hotel. So we'll talk to you later. And here's a little video of Baby Philip, or a picture there. We'll show you what Baby Philip looks like. It should come up here right now in a few minutes. And that's what Baby Philip looks like now. So before we give any big shout outs, we better do this right. Hello to Dale. Hello to Amy. Hello to Alex. Hello to Megan. Hello to Ashley. Hello to Leah. Hello to Ava. Hello to baby Philip. No, Carrie? In case we miss anybody out. And congratulations to Luke, by the way, who passed his driving test. And congratulations to Dale, who passed his driving test. In case we forget all about that as well. No. And David, the brother who had a big operation as well. That's all the big shout outs. So, see you tomorrow, and hopefully. Oh, yeah, by the way, what's the weather like here, Caroline? Yeah, so it's 16, 14, 16 degrees here in Portugal, and when it rains, it pisses down.
We went and we bought an umbrella.
We bought an umbrella for €10.
Back to the hotel, we see the big bucket of umbrellas.
Yeah, and they had a big bucket of umbrellas there for us if we wanted them.
But when the rain stops, the sun's out and it's lovely and warm.
Yeah.
And then next of all of a sudden you're walking, big shower comes.
Big shower. Right, that's enough for talking. We'll talk to you tomorrow and day 2. Bye bye. Right, we're in day 2, and as we say, we're underneath the umbrella because 1 minute it's raining, 1 minute the sun is shining. You can let go of the umbrella a minute, Carolyn. And Carolyn's underneath the statue here.
I found my friend.
She found her friend Joe. And we're just taking a little break here. 1 minute, Carolyn, 1 minute, it's sun is shining, and next thing it's raining. But when it rains, it pisses down for about maybe 2 or 3 minutes, and then the sun is out again. But when you come to Portugal, bring an umbrella.
Yeah, you need one.
So just before we move on, a quick review on our breakfast. No point doing a review on our breakfast because you've been wasting the battery power.
It was the biggest load of shite.
Hang on, sitting in it.
It was the biggest load of shite.
Yeah, absolutely brutal. You're better off if you went to Aldi's and bought a sausage roll and smashed it with a hammer. Right, we'll move her on and we'll go on to the. Just make sure you hold on to that, Caroline, because the wind will take it. Right, we'll move on. So we're outside Starbucks. Caroline is just after getting her cafe, and again, 1 minute it's sunny, next thing it's raining, next thing it's sunny, next thing it's raining. Caroline. But when you come to Lisbon, you have to figure out Lisbon yourself, Caroline. Don't carry any handbags around with you. Make sure you carry an umbrella with you, because if you carry an umbrella with you, you don't know when it's going to rain. We got a tip from a lady, didn't we? And the lady says that don't carry any handbags with you, because she says the pickpocketing is absolutely brutal bad around here. Everybody's out for it's everybody for themselves here. So there's a tip: don't carry any handbags, don't carry any valuable stuff around with you. Just carry what you need.
You have to be very careful. If you pickpocket me anything, I'm going to get it to 6 cash.
Yeah. What's that like, Carly? Yeah.
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah. So we're just going to ramble around today. We're not going to go anything drastic because everybody's selling tours and this and that, but it's ridiculous. The amount, it's very, very, very expensive. Very, very expensive. So we're just going to take it as we come. So see you in the next clip. We're eventually found the streets of Pink Street, Caroline. So we're going to record. Caroline wants to record Pink Street and Pink Street Bar. Everything's pink. Oh, put myself in the big fucking puddle. So here is the beginning of Pink Street.
I'm a tuk-tuk driver on temporary time, although I study medieval history. I'm part of the Institute for Medieval Studies in Lisbon, in Nova University of Lisbon, and I'm here showing you the city around. So one of the first parts of Lisbon we'll show is one of the main squares of the city called Square Pedro IV, means the square of King Peter IV, okay? This square, it's mostly known for its name, the most ancient name called Rocio, okay? It's a square that dates back from the Middle Ages, but it is a square in which you have the statue of King Pedro IV of Portugal. Although, before he was King of Portugal, he was the first emperor of Brazil, okay? He was a descendant of a king that needed to flee Portugal in the context of the Napoleonic Wars. So when Napoleon was in war with England, Portugal sided with England in the colonial pact. So when Napoleon made that the other countries would stop their commerce with England, Portugal refused that embargo, so the French Republic invaded Portugal from Spain, okay? And so he was a descendant of the king that fled Lisbon from transferred the capital of the empire to Rio de Janeiro, okay?
Yeah.
Which is one of the biggest cities in Brazil right now. And so when the Napoleonic Wars ended, the Portuguese monarchs didn't come back. So what happened is that his brother, called Miguel, tried to install absolutist regime back again when some countries of Europe were changing to a more liberal approach, okay?
Yeah.
So he had to come because the heir to the throne of Portugal was his daughter Maria. But Miguel, which was the uncle, was usurping the throne to himself and installing a more absolutist monarch. So he abdicated the throne of Brazil to come to Portugal and throw him out. And so we had the liberal wars, civil war in Portugal between the absolutists and the liberals. This all the way up in the 19th century, okay?
Yeah.
And so that's the reason we have his statue there. Alright, so this zone it's called Baixa Chiado. All of this zone, although looks very modern in terms of construction, because of all of its buildings are at the same height and the streets are very well organized, parallel and perpendicular, this zone used to be a medieval zone. But what happened? In 1755, Lisbon had a huge earthquake that destroyed most of the city.
Yeah.
One of its parts being this downtown part. What happened with this downtown part was that also the river swallowed the downtown part. We had also a tsunami followed by the earthquake, as it normally happens in coastal cities. Yeah?
Yeah.
So all of this zone, which used to be very old and very different from what it looks like right now, got all rebuilt by itself.
All right.
How you guys liking
Yeah.
it?
So it actually had a earthquake here, yeah?
Yes, we had an earthquake followed by a tsunami in 1755.
It completely wiped out Lisbon.
It almost completely wiped out Lisbon. We'll walk around a little bit here, all the parts, okay? In front of us we have what's nowadays called Praça do Comércio, right there, which is the other central square of Lisbon. It used to be back in the age of discoveries in Portugal, or we say age of discoveries. It's sort of a problematic term historiographically, but we call it the square where normally the ships would come with the news from the Portuguese expeditions in the transatlantic and in the seas abroad. And so all of the ships would come and bring cargo to those spots.
Oh, yes.
Yeah? And here you have the arch of the street Augusta. arch built also after the earthquake. Yeah.
After the earthquake.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Yes. Exactly. This is Street Augusta. That's the arch, and that leads to the Square of Commercio right there. You can see a statue there. That's Joseph I of Portugal. He was the king when all of its earthquake happened. He was the king back then when the earthquake happened. Okay.
All right. So up on top of the arch.
No, not on top of the arch. You have a statue a little bit to the front.
Oh yes, I see him.
With,
The horse.
with a guy on a horse. That's
Yeah.
him. Yes.
So he was the
King. When the king of Portugal when the earthquake happened. Yes.
Alright.
Although he wasn't the one to sort of
Didn't rebuild.
plan the restructuring and reconstruction of the city. That
Yes.
was his minister called Sebastião José Carvalho e Melo, or more known to the Portuguese as Marquês de Pombal.
All right.
Okay. He was the sort of the prime minister of the king back then. Okay. This was in the 18th century when the Pedro IV of Portugal. That's the 19th century. That's early 19th century. Okay.
Right. Yes.
He was king, I think. Please don't record this if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But I think he was king in 1834. I think 1834, 1832. I think it's between one of those two dates. Okay. That he started to become king of Portugal.
And the population in Portugal now, or Lisbon. What's the population in Lisbon?
The population right now it's about 2 million.
Yeah.
But it's with the metropolitan area. If we're just talking about the city, we're
Yeah.
talking I think about 500 people.
Yeah.
Not 500, sorry. 500,000.
Yeah.
Sorry. 500 people. No. 500,000. Yeah.
Because we know it's when we walk around Lisbon. This is our second day,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of police on the streets.
Yes. There's a lot of police. Our police likes to keep the streets safe.
Safe, yes.
And there are many people here that
Homeless.
go around with the cars and sort of
Joyriding.
make blind eye to some rules of the
Yes, yes.
where can you drive and whatnot.
Yes.
Lisbon right now it's a little bit chaotic in terms of reconstruction and rebuilding because we had some problems with floods in the
yes.
city, so we have some restructuring going on.
Yeah.
We had our also our elections yesterday.
Yes.
Yes, I don't know if you heard of, but yeah. So there is a lot going on right now.
They're looking for a brighter future. Simple, isn't it? Yeah.
They are looking, but I don't know how they will achieve it. But
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
The floods,
I don't know. The future doesn't seem too bright to me. But yeah.
Floods. Were the floods bad?
No, I don't mean by the floods. I mean by the elections.
Yeah.
Anyway.
The government needs to improve.
Yeah, I mean, the government, I don't think it needed to improve because I think the government needs to improve, of course, but the alternative, it's not the best. Let's put it this way.
For the people,
What's the government like in Ireland?
they're too good.
They're good.
Yeah, they're good.
They're too good. Like we're taking in the population of the Ukraine at the moment. We're taking in thousands and thousands and thousands of them, and the government are giving them social welfare packages
All right.
for families, so they're getting well looked after.
All right.
Yeah.
Get places to stay.
They're getting places to stay, getting food on the table. The government are giving them €220 per family a week. Yeah. They're getting well looked after. Yeah, you're.
This guy is already. Olha o outro autocarro, meu, mas tu tens educação! Tens educação! Não tens educação! Vai lá, a tua vida! Vai lá, a tua vida!
I must,
Foda-se!
I must remember them words.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. Please do not record this into your.
We're loving it. Follow him.
There are some guys that aren't
Crazy.
The most pleasant ones.
Don't worry, Philip.
And that guy is an Uber, so
Yeah, you're right.
there are a lot of Ubers that need to be educated.
Philip is the same when he drives. He gets out to other drivers.
I'd be the same way. I'd be different to you. I follow him.
You'd follow him, don't worry. I'm here for you guys.
Philip gets out to other
I'm not
drivers
here to-
too.
Yeah. You have to have patience.
Tá quase toda a gente. Guys. Alright, so here we have the Church of Saint Antonio. Saint Antonio is a saint that is very celebrated in the summer in the festival of the All Saints in Portugal, where it's a saint celebrated in Portugal. And here we have the Sé Catedral de Lisboa, or the Cathedral of Lisbon. Alright?
Yeah.
Do you want to visit it?
No, it's okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah, we're very happy what you're doing at the
All
moment.
right. So this is the ancient mosque of the city. Port Lisbon was before occupied both by the Arabs and before them by the Visigoths, the Romans, and even before that the Phoenicians had an occupation, a commercial post here. But this building, the foundation of the cathedral, it's from the 1147, when the city was conquered by the first Portuguese king called Afonso Henriques. So he converted the mosque, which was called the Masjid al-Jama, which means central mosque, okay, in Arabic, and he converted the mosque to a cathedral. This is a Romantic architecture style, okay, so it's before the Gothic one. You can see, if you enter inside, you can still find archaeological evidence about Muslim building under the claustrum of the cathedral, okay?
Like in Ireland, we had St. Patrick. Did you ever hear of St. Patrick?
Yes, of course.
And he built hundreds and thousands of monasteries in Ireland.
Uh-huh.
And to this very day, years and years ago, I'll give you something about a bit of history about Ireland.
Yes.
The poor people of Ireland used to bring their kids to the monasteries.
Uh-huh.
And young mothers who falling pregnant back in the time used to bring the babies to the monastery. Right? Okay. Now listen
my
to this.
God.
Right. Now listen to this. So the monks, they were known as priests in the monasteries at St. Patrick, used to take in the children and look after them.
Yeah.
But the ones that were sick, they used to throw them into the dungeons and let them die.
All right.
And to this very day, their bodies and bones are still there.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So there was a lot of hidden folks histories in relation to priests and monks in Ireland.
That's very dark.
Very dark.
But there's some of those episodes that still shock us to this day.
And there is actually
Here you see a demonstration. There's some explanations here to our left. I will stop here temporarily, but you see the name of Lisbon, Lisbona, back in when it was during Arab governmentship.
Yeah.
Okay, so we had from the Arabs governing the city from 715 to 1147. That's the year that I told you that the city was conquered. The city was conquered with the help of the Crusaders that came from Northern Europe, from nowadays Netherlands, nowadays Belgium, for a little bit of France, and also from nowadays England as well.
Yes.
They came from those parts. They were going to Palestine on the Second Crusade, but the Portuguese king convinced them to stop by the Iberian Peninsula and help him to conquer the city. And so he promised them that they could keep the spoils of everything they found inside the city in exchange for the king maintaining the city, of course. Yes? So they helped him out, and the city was conquered in a time where the Muslim dynasties that it was actually a Arab dynasty.
Yes.
Sorry, not an Arab dynasty. It was a Berber dynasty back then. Was the Almoravid dynasty. Were changing power, so this dynasty was being usurped and thrown out of power by another Berber dynasty from North Africa called the Almohads. Okay, this dynasty changed the political scale in terms of the balance between the Christian and Muslim powers, because the Almohads expanded its empire, but the city of Lisbon, when they conquered the city, the dynasties were changing between that time. Okay, so we had a change of power. A city in Morocco called Marrakesh. You know Marrakesh?
Marrakesh.
Yes. So Marrakesh was the capital of the Berber Empire and all of its North African domains, and also the south of the Iberian Peninsula, including the south of Portugal nowadays. Okay. So that territory was being changed. That territory was being changed between the hands of the Almoravids to the Almohads. Marrakesh was also conquered by the Almohads in 1147. So the same year that Lisbon was conquered to the Christians. Here, to our, you cannot see it very well because of the reflection.
Yeah.
But here normally they have this opened.
Yeah.
So this is an ancient Roman amphitheater right here inside of it.
Right.
This amphitheater was only discovered after the earthquake in the 18th century. So it had a lot of buildings built on top of it.
Oh yes.
And so when they fell down, they discovered all the Roman ruins.
All right.
Here. Yeah. So it's closed right now, but we have right here.
Yeah.
The
So they're going to do something eventually with it.
we have here and also here. If you're returning on visit, they have an exposition.
Yes.
Here you can look a little bit better.
Yeah.
Inside. With the reflection, it's kind of hard.
Yeah.
but,
So they found
still.
this with the earthquake.
So it was discovered only after the earthquake.
Oh yes.
I
see it. Yes.
I'm going to turn a little bit here so I can let the car pass.
Yeah.
There's always cars behind us, and I always like to go slowly so you see every bit of part of the city that I show you. And here you start to see the typical houses in Alfama, where we have the azulejo and all of that. Here you have sort of painting art depicting the conquest of Lisbon.
Oh yes.
So you see the boats?
Yes.
That was the Crusaders that came by the North Atlantic. They were covering around the Iberian Peninsula and stopped by Lisbon and helped them out. And this is one of the famous depictions of the conquest of Lisbon. You see, you have the walls and then the
tiles.
The castle towards it.
Oh, that's the one in the hill, yeah. And the Viking ships, they call them.
They seem Viking ships, yeah. They seem so, yeah. They seem Drakars, but I don't think they are. I think they were. They had another name.
Yes.
I don't know the specific name, and I will say this out of the record again. Then you cut it out. You put whatever you want. But since I identified myself as being who I am, I will not bullshit you with some story about this. Otherwise, I would say, well, they might be drunkards or not. I don't know.
But you know what? We don't drink or anything like that. But as soon as you start speaking to us, then your communication sold us to when you then we're wanting to get bullshit. You know what I mean? We know where we're going to get.
No, but that's the thing. Like, I don't know who's going to see the video, and I'm trying to say all of the things the more correctly as possible. So I don't, because when you are an historian, when you have the formation that I do, you have some sort of responsibility. When you're saying things.
Yeah, when we're going to get people whoever's watching this video to come look for you when they want a tour.
I mean, I have a page, an investigator, sort of an academic page.
Yes.
In academia, that's a website that you can set. It's sort of a LinkedIn, but for just the academics.
Yes.
Yeah. And I have this page, but I'm just starting now.
Oh yes.
I've finished 2 MAs, but I was to do my PhD. So I'm still a little bit in terms of in the beginning of my career.
So you could
so to say.
You could have a future in
I would like to have a future in. Yes, I would like to have a future in. We don't have enough space to park here, so.
No, you're okay. You can keep on with your tour. We're happy enough.
But this part, it's part of the. This part is part of the tour where we get out and all.
All right.
So what I will do is I will try to lift the Moorish wall. Yeah. So it was a wall built around the Arab at the time of the domination of Lisbon. Okay. It used to be all of these houses until here, the place where I'm showing. How many subscribers you said you had?
A couple of thousand.
Couple of thousand.
I know when we do our videos in Corfu, some of them have 4
So here it's called the Largo de Porta do Sol, means the square of the gates of the sun. Okay, this from here to here used to be one of the main gates to the medieval city of Lisbon, right from all of the streets.
All right, so this is the gate into it.
So I want you to imagine a medieval gate built in stone in which you enter the city through here. Yes, this is outside, just beside the wall here.
Yes.
And you see there clearly, when the bus passes, you see clearly
that's
the old stones of the still of the wall. Yeah. Let's go. And so I want to show you this part of this staircase. Picture! And I want to show you especially this part, which I always like to bring my clients to this, which is the history of Lisbon in BD.
Yes.
Which is wonderful to see. Although it's in Portuguese, I will explain it to you.
Spices were a very valuable thing, and in fact, that was the source of Portuguese wealth. Portugal actually becomes in the 16th century, by the way, the wealthiest country in the whole world. Just for about 100 years.
I will
try and explain this calmly around the spice trade.
Guide.
In here, this is in neighborhood
we have
Bellamy. So Bellamy is a
arrival of the Phoenicians to this, and that's the first square, the left upper corner square, and then followed by the Romans, the Visigoths, which were a Germanic tribe that immigrated from around the middle of Europe to the Iberian Peninsula and restored their kingdom in Toledo, which is a city in nowadays Spain. And back to the Arabs. Okay, so the Arabs installed the Caliphate, the Umayyad Caliphate, and then there were all the dynasties that followed the Muslim religion, but were different Arabic and Berber dynasties. Okay? And then we had the conquest of Lisbon, similar to that depiction I showed you. We had 6,000 English, 2,000 Flemish, and 5,000 Germans, with also the said Portuguese. You have 7,000 Portuguese. There weren't Portuguese. There were Iberians from the northern parts of Iberia. There were at most Galicians, which there was a kingdom of Galicia and the kingdom of Leon back then. There weren't Portuguese national because there was not that sort of conscience that one was Portuguese. Like we have our nationalities built nowadays. There wasn't that conscience back then. Okay? So we had other parts of the history of Portugal. Not gonna bother you too much with it. We had when we finished the started having a consolidation of our kingdom. We went for our discoveries. And not discoveries, but we made our voyages abroad, seeing. So we started going around Africa, going around South Africa and turning the Cape of Good Hope and reaching India for the first time. The Portuguese were the first Europeans to ever find the maritime way around Africa from Europe all the way to India through sea. So, because there was no Suez Canal back then. So one would need to stop at Egypt, which was back then controlled by the Ottomans, which are nowadays Turks. Yeah. So they were Egypt was controlled by the Ottomans, and so the Muslims, they were Muslims. They embargoed and would make a lot of taxes for the Christians to get to the Indian and Chinese markets. So both the Chinese and the Indians, all of its commerce would go through the Arab Peninsula and through Egypt, or through the Strait of Hormuz, through the Baghdad and all of Iraq, all the way to Europe. But it would be also taxed, and the Ottomans controlled that commerce until the Portuguese changed the rules. Until Portugal went around Africa, and then after that, the Dutch and the English and the French started doing that as well. The Spanish did a different game. The Spanish expanded themselves to America. Okay, so they started getting the gold, the Aztec gold, and other they started getting riches from other civilizations in other terms. The Portuguese got very rich. At Lisbon got one of the richest cities in the world in the 16th century. Lisbon was the center of the news and center of many things. Yeah. Okay. And then you have other things related to history here. Philip was a king of Spain, and some other European territories back then, and he sort of got from his mother. He was the legitimate heir to the Portuguese throne, and so we united with the what was back then Spain, okay, and then we also we got a little bit angry with the Spanish, so we revolted from them. At the same time, after the Kingdom of Aragon did it. Nowadays, we have this much trouble in Spain with Catalonia wanting to be independent, because they have also, like us, their own self of nationality where they speak a different language and all. But back then, in the 1640, back then, both of them revolted, but the Spanish, so the central government of Spain, went to deal with the revolution first in Aragon, and then came to Portugal. We normally joke about it that if they had come to Portugal first, nowadays we would be part of Spain, and Aragon and Catalonia would be an independent country. So we joke about this. And here you have the depiction of the famous earthquake. Very important event in Lisbon that destroyed the city, and we have the master that I told you about, Marquês de Pombal. That his name is Sebastian, yeah, but he's the Marquis of Pombal. Yeah. And then the Napoleonic Wars, going all the royal house going to Rio de Janeiro. And it ends all with the Revolution of April, where we had in the 1920s a revolution. In the 1920s we had a dictatorship installed, a military dictatorship, sort of fascist dictatorship, that ended in 1974, right here, okay? With the revolution of 25 of April, back then, during the Cold War, we were tired of, the lower military was tired of being sent to Africa to maintain colonies in a time where most of the European countries already gave their African colonies their independence, and Portugal still maintained those, so the lower military revolted against this and came down to Lisbon and made a revolution to end and install democracy. We will do this year is very important, guys. We will do
after
this
that-
year
that-
is
that
the
is
2024. This year in 25 of April we will do 50 years
because
of the installation of democracy in Portugal.
invaded
50 years.
Lisbon.
Yes.
And when the Napoleon forces were almost arriving to see.
All right. Well, it's so famous that she was invited to do many concerts in the United States. Okay. So and she would used to sing back in the 1950s, 1960s. And she was a lot of times invited to go to America, and she's a
What kind of
very
music? Opera
she's a
music?
very beloved figure to the Portuguese.
Was she opera?
No, fado.
Fado. It's a more melancholic way to sing.
Yes.
Unlike for example, the flamenco in Spain, which is well, there is melancholic flamenco, but normally it's more happier, more celebrating type of music.
Yes.
Fado, it's more sad, more melancholic,
yes.
you know, but it's very, very beautiful as well. I would advise you, if you have the time, to find a restaurant. I know a specific one here, where a restaurant where you pay a dinner, all right? You pay a dinner together with a concert, and so
yes,
you're
yes.
having dinner while listening to fado.
Oh yes.
It's very beautiful, and it's only about, I would say, about between 25 and 30 euros per person. Yeah, exactly. So, but the dinner with the concert, I mean, it's super cheap because you're having both of them in the same price. Yeah. Here we arrive at the Church of Graça, Igreja de Graça, also a very old church in Lisbon, and has a sightseeing there, which is also very beautiful. But we will see
You're right.
the best one. Yeah, and here you can see the tile decoration. In Portuguese, we say azulejo. All right. It's very common to use it both in the monuments, in the regular houses, and even inside. Myself I do have azulejo in my house, in my kitchen and my bathroom. So it's very normal for the Portuguese to use this type of tile decoration in their house.
What's this big place here beside us on the left? We
This
just-
big place,
back here.
it's all the Church of Graça.
All right.
Yeah, it's also an old church. Yeah. Oh. And here you see the square of Graça. Here there's many. There's a festival in June called the Festival of All Saints that I talked to you about.
Yes.
Remember the festival I talked to you about, Saint Anthony of Saint Antonio.
Antonio.
So in June we celebrate him, and we have a party all around Alfama, which is the old part that we're visiting here in Lisbon.
Oh yes.
Sorry. And all of this park becomes full with the celebrative people sell beer in the street.
Oh, yes.
And sell sardines and other Portuguese
Question
typical things.
we see a lot of people sardines. What's the sardine thing?
It's one of the typical things of the typical fish you eat during summer.
Summer.
Yeah.
Right.
See all the locks?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask him about that just now. See the tower carving? How it went down at the sides.
Lovely.
Look at that. Beautiful.
So,
Absolutely beautiful. Oh, sorry.
so we have here the hospital of Joseph. Okay,
That's the big building
It's
over
one of the oldest hospitals in Lisbon. So there are some things here that I'm not sure what I'm about to say, but others I'm more sure. For example, here, the castle, we used to call it Alcáçova, meaning the fortress in which the king used to live when he conquered Lisbon. A little bit after that, when the Kingdom of Portugal sort of completed its conquest in the Iberian Peninsula and reached Algarve, the king moved itself to the castle of Lisbon. Yeah, because Lisbon had a more central position in terms of all of the Portuguese domains in the kingdom between north and south. Okay, so this was the house of the king, and then when the Portuguese expeditions through the sea started more regularly and with the empire and all, the Portuguese king went from the castle to the Praça do Comércio that we passed by. That's that big square with the statue of the guy on a horse, Joseph I. Yeah. So that square, the Portuguese king moved to one of the buildings of the square so he could oversee all of the products that came from the colonies and from the Portuguese trading posts, and see the entry of the gold, the entry of the spices, the entry of all of that. So never there were no corruption and things wouldn't pass without his approval.
So you keep an eye on things.
Exactly. And here, right there, you have also a medieval convent called the Convent of Carmo. See, sort of a ruin.
Yes,
here.
yes, yes,
A ruin
yes,
to the left of a yellow building.
Yes.
Yes. The yellow building is the Quartel do Carmo.
Oh,
Okay?
yes, yes, yes.
Quartel do Carmo, it's the headquarters of the National Republican Guard of Portugal. Yeah, it was created with the Republic. The Portuguese Republic dates back to the 1910. That's when the monarchy ended in Portugal, and we had a Republican Party installed in Portugal. Yeah, and so, but when the Portuguese converted themselves to a dictatorship. Back in 1924, 1925, I think it was around those years. And then I know for sure that this was around more 1933 when we passed from a military dictatorship to a fascist dictatorship. That building was the center, or one of the centers, of the police that repressed the Portuguese populace, when they spoke ill of the government. Yeah. And also you have the bridge,
Yes.
which is a huge landscape in the view of Lisbon.
It's like the
Yes, it's very similar to the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. Yes, many people do realize that. Although this bridge was built by the initiative of Salazar, which was the dictator of the Portuguese dictatorship, the fascist dictator. Okay, so he gave initiation and finished the bridge. And the bridge before was called Bridge Salazar. Okay, the name of the bridge changed in honor of the democratic revolution we had to install the democracy in Portugal. They changed the bridge to what it's called nowadays, called Bridge 25 of April. Okay,
And the symbol of the cross, like the Brazilian cross on top.
it is also I think, I'm not sure of this. I think it was also built in the Portuguese dictatorship. It's called Christ King. Yes, and it's very similar to the ones you find in Rio de Janeiro, the Cristo Redentor. Redentor, or Cristo Redentor. Yes?
That's still part of Lisbon, across the bridge.
Across the bridge there's many suburb parts. That part here, it's called Almada. It's one of the suburb areas of Lisbon. Yes, there are many parts of the metropolitan part of Lisbon. Yeah. What else? Here you have also a historical square called the Square of Martim Muniz. Okay, with the hotel, World Hotel in Portuguese, Hotel Mundial. Okay, very prestigious hotel nowadays. So I want you to imagine. I don't know if it has the name has to do with it or not. I'm not sure. This is one of the parts that I'm not sure. That's what we tell, but this is not my specialty, so I'm not quite exactly sure. But here we tell us that here there is they're buried here the last dynasty of the Portuguese kings, the dynasty of Bragança. They're all buried in here.
In there, yeah?
Yeah. Exactly. So this dynasty ruled Portugal from 1640 to 1910.
Right.
Okay?
They're all buried inside this place.
Yes. So this is a church together with a monastery.
All right. Yes.
All right.
This must be the best road yet.
This is super quiet and well, normally we have a fair here. So unfortunately you go back home tomorrow, but tomorrow, every Tuesday and every Saturday we have a fair, one of the oldest fairs still operating in Europe, called Feira da Ladra.
Yeah.
That fair where the Portuguese come and sell whatever they want, their junk from their houses, or some many do sell very prestigious items.
Like we call it in Ireland, we call it car boot sales.
Yeah. Let me just go back. Let me just go back here a little bit, so you can enjoy the azulejo decoration.
Oh yes, here on the wall here.
On the wall, yeah. Didn't want to miss that for you.
Yes, I see one places have done it up.
Yeah.
And then the place are going to do the same.
There are several ones built around, several houses with this azulejo decoration.
Yes.
But
I see the yellow
really
one down here. Yeah.
Like to show you the different ones because they are in different styles and different shapes. And here you see
the yellow one. Yeah.
Right here, the national pantheon of Portugal. Yeah.
Oh yes.
You have many important Portuguese national figures there, like Amália Rodrigues, like Egas Muniz, which was a Nobel Prize of Medicine in Portugal. But one of the most, I believe, is there, but one of the most controversial figures that is buried in the national pantheon is actually a football player called Eusébio.
Yes.
Okay, he's very controversial because many people didn't expect for him to be buried here instead of in his home place. Yeah. But it's a very beautiful building, as you may see. Yeah.
And what is it? What's this building used for today? Nothing.
No, it's still the national pantheon.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So if we have somebody which is a very important national figure, we have him buried here to honor him.
Oh.
Yeah. A bit like the national pantheon in Paris, in France, for the same purposes. Yeah.
So in other words, there's very important people buried in here too.
So what?
There's people buried in here.
Yes, there's people. There's the important national figures buried here.
Oh yes. You see all the tiles and the roofs and the houses there.
And here you see more tiles. We call it azulejo.
Isolation.
Yeah, exactly. And there you go. So guys, question. It's very beautiful and it's done in Manuelino style. Right here.
Yeah.
This is the Museum of Azulejo. The azulejo being the tile that you see in so many places.
Yes.
But the door is so beautiful in terms of decoration. I sometimes love to take my clients here, and you have some special motives in terms
Yes.
of the type of architecture it represents.
What's it now? A convent, is it?
Used to be, I think. Yes. I have to read it a little bit better about the history of its building.
Yes.
But this is normally not even many of the parts. You see, National Museum of the Azulejo.
Yes.
Azulejo, it's the tile, that tile that I showed you
Yes.
about that you find in so many places in monuments and all. Yeah. This is a more modern part, as you see, of the museum. But back there, the door, it's so beautiful with the things. Yeah.
Hundreds and hundreds of years old.
How many years old it has?
Yeah.
Not sure. I can see. This is one of the things I'm not sure, but I always like to show the things around. So I already do. I only do tuk-tuk for about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I will do my second week in. It's amazing, right? Yes, I also think so. Architecture, it's very beautiful, and it's done in Manuelino style, right here.
Yeah.
This is the Museum of Azulejo. The azulejo being the tile that you see in so many places.
Yes.
But the door is so beautiful in terms of decoration. I sometimes love to take my clients here, and you have some special motives in terms of the type of architecture it represents.
What's it now? A convent, is it?
Used to be, I think. Yes. I have to read it a little bit better about the history of its building.
Yes.
But this is normally not even many of the parts. You see, National Museum of the Azulejo.
Yes.
Azulejo, it's the tile, that tile that I showed you about that you find in so many places in monuments and all. Yeah. This is a more modern part, as you see, of the museum. But back there, the door, it's so beautiful with the things. Yeah.
Hundreds and hundreds of years old.
How many years old it has?
Yeah.
Not sure. I can see. This is one of the things I'm not sure, but I always like to show the things around. So I already do. I only do tuk-tuk for about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I will do my second week in. I don't know if it has the name has to do with it or not. I'm not sure. This is one of the parts that I'm not sure.
Yeah.
That's what we tell, but this is not my specialty, so I'm not quite exactly sure.
Yeah.
But here we tell us that here there is they're buried here the last dynasty of the Portuguese kings, the dynasty of Bragança. They're all buried in here.
In there, yeah?
Yeah. Exactly. So this dynasty ruled Portugal from 1640 to 1910.
Right.
Okay?
They're all buried inside this place.
Yes. So this is a church together with a monastery.
All right. Yes.
All right.
This must be the best road yet.
This is super quiet and well, normally we have a fair here. So unfortunately you go back home tomorrow, but tomorrow, every Tuesday and every Saturday we have a fair, one of the oldest fairs still operating in Europe, called Feira da Ladra.
Yeah.
That fair where the Portuguese come and sell whatever they want, their junk from their houses, or some many do sell very prestigious items.
Yeah. We call it in Ireland, we call it car boot sales.
Yeah. Let me just
Look
go
at
back.
Yeah.
Let me just go back here a little bit, so you can enjoy the azulejo decoration
Oh yes, here on the wall here.
on the wall. Yeah. Didn't want to miss that for you.
Yes, I see one places have done it up,
Yeah.
and then the place are going to do the same.
There are several ones built around several houses with this azulejo decoration.
Yes,
But
I see the yellow one down here, yeah.
like to show you the different ones because they are in different styles and different shapes. And here you
I
see
see the yellow one,
Pantheon.
yeah.
Right here, the national pantheon of Portugal. Yeah.
Oh yes.
You have many important Portuguese national figures there, like Amália Rodrigues, like Egas Muniz, which was a Nobel Prize of Medicine in Portugal. But one of the most, I believe, is there, but one of the most controversial figures that is buried in the national pantheon is actually a football player called Eusébio.
Yes.
Okay, he's very controversial because many people didn't expect for him to be buried here instead of in his home place. Yeah. But it's a very beautiful building, as you may see. Yeah.
And what is it? What's this building used for today? Nothing.
No, it's still the national pantheon.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So if we have somebody which is a very important national
yeah.
figure,
They've been
we
taken
have
here.
we have him buried here to honor him.
Oh.
A bit like the national pantheon in Paris, in
Right.
France, for the same purposes. Yeah.
So, so in other words, there's very important people buried in here too.
So what?
There's people buried in here.
Yes, there's people. There's the important national figures buried here.
Oh yes. You see all the tiles on the roofs and the houses
Yeah.
there.
And here you see more tiles. We call it azulation.
Installation.
Yeah, exactly. And there you go. So, guys, question. It's
We are wrecked after today. Last day, heading home tomorrow morning. Caroline picked this holiday for a 3-day event to get a break away for the kids for 3 days. mostly because baby Philip is going for his operation, and we just need Caroline to have a little wee break before her next stages in relation to baby Philip. So, going to get Caroline's review, and then we get my review over Lisbon in Portugal. Over to Caroline. But by the way, it was 20 degrees today.
Yeah, it was nice today.
20 degrees today. Very, very warm. Streets are packed with people. But before we give my review, we're going to pass it over to Caroline. She's going to give your review, and I'm going to give you my honest opinion about the whole place and what's my highlights of the holiday. So over to Caroline.
Yeah, it's okay. It was alright, I thought, for a 3-night break. But you wouldn't really do any more than 3-4 nights. For a city break, it's okay, but you wouldn't come here for summer holiday or anything. You've always been there. Look, you can say you've been there, you've done that, you've done a tuk-tuk, you've seen the trams, you've did it all, you've been to the Hard Rock Cafe, so at least you could say you've been in Lisbon, you've done and seen, and you know yourself if you'd want to go back. Some people would love it and love to come back, others just wouldn't be for them and wouldn't come back. But you have beggars on the streets and you have pickpockets, but you're going to get something like that everywhere you go. But for 3 nights for a break, it was actually alright. It wasn't the worst, but 3 nights is enough.
Right. Your highlight?
My highlight was just actually being alone with Philip and getting a break from the kids, because they are hard work, baby Philip's hard work. So that was my highlight of the whole holiday.
Right, over to me. Well, Caroline picked this holiday, and as Caroline says, Caroline does work very, very hard at home with baby Philip. And just to get the 3-day break, I work hard as well, by the way, and crazy hours, but I do it for Caroline and nobody else. I do it all for her. Look, off the phone a minute. I did it for Caroline. The holiday was great. A 3-day break for Caroline was magical. Brilliant. The weather conditions today, brilliant. 20 degrees. And the Portuguese are saying that their summer begins now. Unfortunately, that's the day we're leaving home. We got the last 2 days of rain, but 20 degrees heat today was absolutely fantastic. Yes, a lot of scammers in Portugal getting off the airplane, banged into a back of a taxi. We don't know who they were, talking Portuguese. Wouldn't let us out of the taxi, tried to charge us €146. We refused to pay them. And remember, pick that taxi with the green roof, and don't go to anyone else's if you're coming into Lisbon. Only go to the green roof taxis, because you'll be banged in the back of a unmarked car, and they won't let you out unless you pay them. Because Caroline, you did hear another story about another couple.
Yeah, they were actually charged. We thought we were bad 146. They were charged 300.
€300.
The hotel manager here said now they were an older couple, but when they refused to pay it, the car they were in, the man would let them out, and 4 other people, men, surrounded the car and says, "You have to pay.
Yeah.
You have to pay, or there'll be trouble."
So
they paid.
So they tried that on us. We refused to pay them. We ended up getting €70. Should be only €20. So we lost out on a total of €50. But look, it is what it is. And when we go to the airport tomorrow, if we see any of the police, we will point to them before we go on the plane ourselves, because that's the at it all the time. And there's police everywhere in Lisbon. Everywhere, every street. What's the name of the street car out here, just outside the door here?
5th Avenue.
5th Avenue. Oh, crazy, crazy place. Absolutely, there's police every 10 yards. And one of the reasons why we have Rolex watches for, how much do we see that one in the window for?
114,000.
114,000.
The Rolex shop.
At the Rolex shops, we've seen big black Jeeps pulling in with tinted windows. Bodyguards coming out, opening up the doors, and the wives running into the shops and all that. Crazy, 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 crazy. But a different experience. Yes, Caroline did say there's once it goes night time, there's hundreds, there's not just 1 or 2, but there's hundreds of people sleeping on the streets. Hundreds, and every 10 minutes they're coming over to ask you with the handout. Everything that you be prepared for that. Buy yourself an umbrella, have it with you, because you don't know when it's going to rain, because you will get a big heavy shower. And buy yourself a pair of sunglasses, because people will haunt you to buy sunglasses if they don't see sunglasses on your head. Other than that, I really enjoyed it, because I enjoyed my time with Caroline, no kids, and I loved it. Yeah, every bit of it. And I can't tell you the best parts that I liked, but they were magical. So that's all down to Caroline. But I really, really did, truly loved the little breakaway. Back to work tomorrow morning, starting again at 12 tomorrow night and finishing at 11:30. But look, that's what part of life is, bringing home the money for Caroline, because the price of stuff at home is ridiculous, isn't it, Caroline?
You wouldn't be here if you didn't bring home the dash.
No, it's all about money, and life shouldn't be all about money and big fancy cars, which you see out here, buying Rolex watches for €400,000 or €500,000 and buying fucking jackets for €2,500. Look, you make life whatever life.
We actually
brings you.
bought a jacket from Megan this evening in a shop called Pull&Bear. It's a trench coat. Everybody's wearing them now, even back in Ireland, for €40. Went up the road, fella couldn't believe it, up on Fifth Avenue. Same trench
jacket,
coat,
same
hanging
jacket.
in the window. Only different name. Jackets look completely identical.
Exactly the same.
The name of this jacket was Burberry.
Burberry.
It was €2,150 for the same jacket.
2,100.
Only different name.
Same jacket Karen bought down in Pull&Bear. Crazy.
Couldn't believe it.
But anyway, I enjoyed the holiday. My highlights are with Caroline. I enjoyed every bit of money, but time spent with the tuk-tuk trip. I know it was crazy money, but we enjoyed it. Him telling us the whole history about the whole place. It was actually, one stage was great. And then we just got tired. We were really exhausted. But we enjoyed it. Tuk-tuk trip was very, very good. We enjoyed it. Caroline enjoyed it. And our next trip will be in Tenerife on the 13th of September. So there will be a video on going up the 13th of September. Unfortunately, there'll be no ghost stories for a while because just haven't got the time. It's simple as that. And the Caroline just can't get out and do it. It's just impossible to get out and do it. Time you're working and you're trying to get home and you're trying to keep the house maintained and trying to look after the kids. Impossible. But if we get a chance, we will do one. So it's goodbye for me and it's goodbye for Caroline. And we'll see you in the 13th of September in Tenerife. What's the name of Tenerife we're going to?
Playa de Blancas.
So that's where we're heading on the 13th of September for one hot week. And we will look for an abandoned house like we did in Corfu in Greece. So it's goodbye for me, it's goodbye for Caroline, and we'll see you in the next one. Slán go fóin. Bye.